Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and in today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to play the Star-Spangled Banner. And this is one of those songs that is deceptively difficult. The chords are pretty easy, the strumming is pretty easy, but the chords change along to the lyrics at odd times, musically speaking. So it's kind of tough to keep track of when to switch chords. And that's why I've made a chord chart for this one. It's completely free. Normally I'd put them on my Patreon and you have to subscribe, but I want to make this one available to everybody for free. So you'll find a link to that in the corner and down below. I'd also like to point out, once you go to my website, that there are two versions of it. There's the more accurate version that has a few extra chords. That's the one that we'll be learning today. But I'm also going to make a simplified version that I'll be releasing a lesson for in the next couple days. If you haven't taken a moment to subscribe to the channel, now would be a good time. That way you'll be notified of that lesson and future lessons. We'll begin by taking a quick look at the chord shapes. These are all the chords that you'll need for this song. G, C, A minor, E. There's a D7, but we can use a regular D if you're more comfortable with that. There's an easy F chord. So these are all the chords that you'll need for this song. Out of those, they're mostly basic shapes. There's a couple, though, that you might not be 100% familiar with, like the D7 chord. You could just play a regular D there instead. It's barely going to make a difference. But if you want to do D7, put your middle finger on the second fret of the G string, and then your ring finger on the second fret of the thinnest string. Same spots as a D chord, but using different fingers, and then our index finger goes on the first fret of the B string. There's also an F chord, which can be a bar chord, but I have an easier way to do it that still sounds nice and full. We put our first finger on the first fret of the B string, middle finger on the second fret of the G string, our pinky finger on the third fret of the D string, and then our ring finger on the third fret of the A string. Our thumb lightly touches the thickest string. The thinnest string is being touched by the underside of our index. And you get a big, beefy F chord that's pretty easy to play. The other chord you'll see in there is C/G, or you would say it C over G, and that's just a C chord. But then we take our ring finger and we put it on the third fret of the thickest string. That gives you a G bass note. And that creates suspension. You'll see it happens later in the song. But yeah, you'll want to make sure that you're good with those. If you need help with the specifics, like switching chords and all that, I have a free ebook. I'll put a link to that in the corner. I also have a course, Learn Guitar Once and For All, which we can talk more about later. Either way, you're going to want to be familiar with all those chords. It seems a bit tricky. Like I said, I have a beginner version of this coming up. I'll put a link down below when it's ready. Anyways, that's the chord stuff. Now, as far as the strumming is concerned, this song is in 3/4 time. So we're counting to 3 over and over again. And just using downstrokes only is actually the best way to go about it. Once you have it down, you're welcome to add some upstrokes in there, but honestly, this song sounds great in this really simple way that I'm about to show you. The chords do a lot of the heavy lifting here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Let's just pause there. So already you can see that we're changing chords at not random times, right? But it's important to really count along. We start off on beat 3. 1, 2. Oh, and then we have a C. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. So it's a lot of 1, 2, and then on beat 3 we play a different chord. 2, 1, so. And then proudly we hailed to at the twilight's last gleaming. And this is why I have the sheet music free on my website, because I do want you to learn this song. So just print it off and you can see I have all the counting written out. Everything's laid out like a grid. Now that I've made my point, I'm just going to play through the song, start to finish, just doing the strumming nice and slow with the metronome. I'm going to set it to 60 beats per minute. It's nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and So this song is famously difficult in terms of the range. It's like a massive range, and obviously I barely have the range to sing most songs, right? So excuse the singing. But it's important to note that at the end there, like we were playing it with a metronome, but you can really kind of express yourself and pause, you know, o'er the land of the free and the home of the you know, like if you were to try to write that down in sheet music with all the counting, like I don't even know what that would be, right? But it ultimately, like you're kind of just feeling it out. And if you've seen a baseball game, you know how to feel it out. You've heard them sing it. Everybody has their own twist. Either way, that's it for today's lesson. Please print off the sheet music from my website, and while you're down below or while you're on my site, you might see some things that are going to help you. There's my crash course, which is like a free 14-day course. If you're really struggling to get the chords and the strumming, you know, this is going to teach you your first 2 songs and teach you all the fundamentals. I also have a course, Learn Guitar Once and For All, which is like that times 1,000. You know, it's going to take it way further and get you set up with all the basic chord shapes, all the strumming patterns, all the chord progressions, all the stuff that you need to be a confident strummer, you know, to just show up and just play some tunes and have everybody love it, right? Other than that, if you're not in any of that, but you just like learning with me here on YouTube, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'd really appreciate that. Let me know what you think of the lesson, or if you have any questions in the comments down below. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.